Hey everyone, so I just wanted to walk you through the creation of a new Bitcoin wallet. So this wallet app is called Bread Wallet, but the vast majority of Bitcoin wallet apps have a very similar process, almost identical to this for wallet creation, especially if it's a non-custodial wallet app. So one of the first things I need to point out is the fact that Bitcoin is a network which you interact with through a wallet app. So in this in this case, the Bread Wallet is the wallet app, otherwise known as BRD, and so coins are not actually stored on your phone, but the private key, which is required to access those coins, is stored on your phone. So when you're creating the wallet, you're going to have to back up your recovery phrase, which I will ask you to do shortly, so that if you lose your phone, then you can restore the wallet on another device. So it's not like a bank. It doesn't use a cloud to store your coins for you, although this particular app does have an iCloud backup option using iCloud keychain. You decide whether you're comfortable with using a cloud service to back that up. But generally speaking, it's inadvisable to use cloud services to back up cryptocurrency wallet keys. Right, so there are two options here. Get started, which is what we'll use to create a new wallet, and there's store wallet option, which is what you use to load an existing wallet onto this device. So let's proceed with get started. Okay, so it will ask you to set a pin, and don't use a 1, 2, 3, 4 pin like me. This is just for demonstration purposes. Do not reveal my real pin, of course. And yes, I'm going to disable this iCloud backup option since that's not what I want. And right, so it's going to ask you to generate your private recovery phrase. This is required to recover your coins if you upgrade or lose your phone, as I told you earlier. So just remembering that your Bitcoins will always be on the Bitcoin blockchain. This app is just an interface via which you interact with Bitcoin's blockchain. Right, so through a node, of course. So yeah, let me just. Okay, so how it works. Step 1, write down your key. Write down your key on paper and confirm it. Screenshots are not recommended for security reasons. Yeah, that's true. So avoid taking screenshots. So it's going to store your key in a secure location. Yes, that's good advice. This is the only way to recover your wallet. BRD does not keep a copy because BRD is a non-custodial wallet. A non-custodial wallet is one that doesn't store your coins for you, meaning they aren't in possession of your, or to be more specific, a non-custodial wallet is not in possession or in control of your private key or your recovery phrase. Of course, the local copy of your app does have access to the key, but it's only on your phone. So they can't really remotely access your coins. So let's continue. I always recommend non-custodial wallet apps because custodial ones they have a backdoor which circumvents Bitcoin security. I don't want to get too much into the technical details of that, but if, for example, you use a web-based wallet that lets you log in with a username and password instead of having to use your private key, then username and password could be cracked and used to access your coins. So not all online wallets are like that, but the vast majority of them are. And if you're to use a traditional non-custodial wallet app, then it's a private key that they'd have to steal in order to access your coins. Or they'd have to guess the private key, which is incredibly difficult to do compared to guessing or stealing a username and password. This is also why I advise against storing Bitcoin on exchanges unless you need to exchange it at that moment. So when you're done trading cryptocurrencies on an exchange, you should withdraw them to a non-custodial wallet. I should also point out that using a Bitcoin wallet on a phone is risky due to the high risk of your phone being lost or stolen. And also know that you need to lock your phone. So ensure that you have an unlock code on your lock screen, so that if someone does steal your phone, that makes it harder for them to access the wallet app and steal your coins. Right, so tap generate recovery phrase and just write these phrases down one by one in the order that they're provided. This is very important. You must also ensure that you make backup copies of this phrase. This is a 12-word phrase. So make sure that the backup copy is not on the phone. Of course, it needs to be somewhere outside of the phone. Curious. So of course, this is not my wallet. This is just a throwaway wallet that I'm generating only for this video. So there are no coins in it, and there never will be, in case you're wondering. I know that it might seem a little tedious to have to write down all of these words, but it's a one-time thing, so you won't have to do it again, right? So tap done. Okay, it's going to ask you to recall 2 of the words from that recovery phrase, just to verify that you actually wrote them down. So just type in word 11 and word 4 in this case. Oops. Right. Okay, good. So your wallet has now actually been created. As tedious as that was, this minimal effort compared to what is required to create a bank account. Bitcoin is actually quite simple once you get used to it, and even convenient from my perspective. So BRD supports different types of wallets, but this is about Telegram. Sorry, oh my god, this is about Bitcoin. So it's important to know that you should never send anyone your private key. Your private key provides full access to your coins and can be used to steal all of them. So if someone asks you for a private key, don't send it to them. They're almost certainly trying to rob you. Also, Bitcoin wallets are not chargeable, meaning if you want to pay someone with Bitcoin, you would initiate a transaction and send the coins off to their wallet address, but they can't actually charge your wallet unless you're using a custodian service that implements that kind of functionality. So that's actually it for the creation of a Bitcoin wallet. I also want to point out the malware risk that phones present. So be careful of that as well. I would recommend a Linux machine over any other from a security standpoint to protect your wallet, or a hardware wallet such as a Ledger Nano or a Trezor. And some other points I wanted to make are, wallet addresses. I just wanted to quickly point out the sending and receiving of Bitcoin. So if you click receive, it brings up a QR code as well as your wallet address. Your wallet address is that string of characters under the QR code. The QR code is just a representation of that same address, but its purpose is so that the sender can scan your wallet address without having to type it in or copy it over manually. It's very convenient, actually. So if you want to send Bitcoin to someone, you can just copy that wallet address, send it to them, and that's it pretty much. But if you want to send Bitcoin to someone, you tap send, and the process is the same in virtually any wallet app. You enter the wallet address, check it carefully, and then you enter the amount in BTC to your, Also ensure that you check that carefully. So processing speed now. This will determine your transaction fee. So economy results in the cheapest fee, regular strikes a balance, and priority results in the highest fee, and that is an option that you'd use if you need or want the transaction to go through as quickly as possible. So memo, that field is optional. Most of the time, it's best to just leave it on regular. So if you're using economy, there is a risk of lengthy confirmation times. Meaning it could take a very long time for the recipient to receive the coins. So that's something to bear in mind, especially if the network is congested. And so I know that I pointed out some of the differences between Bitcoin and banks, but it's very important to understand that Bitcoin is peer-to-peer electronic cash, and a bank is an institution, means an entity which holds your funds for you, which is in custody of them, and then you have them transact them for you if you're doing a wire transfer, etc. And they have the ability to censor your transactions, seize your funds, or to monitor your activity, freeze your account, close your account, etc. So Bitcoin doesn't do any of those things. Bitcoin is designed to give you full control over your funds so that nobody can interfere with your ability to transact. And there are also no fees for maintaining your Bitcoin wallet, that kind of thing. So your Bitcoin stays in your wallet forever, free of charge. The only fees you have to pay are transaction fees. So if you're sending Bitcoins to someone, there will be a transaction fee. If someone is sending Bitcoins to you, there will be a transaction fee which they would have to pay, unless they set their wallet app to deduct the fee from the amount being sent, which means that you might actually be shorted the amount that they're supposed to send you. So someone might send you $10 worth of Bitcoin, and then if they get a $3 transaction fee, then they set it to deduct it from the amount being sent, you'll actually receive $7. So that's something to bear in mind, although I don't see that happening too often. Anyway, another, I can't demonstrate it here unfortunately, but another important detail to understand is if you send someone Bitcoin, then you can you'll get the transaction ID from your wallet app. It will bring it up in your transaction history, and then you can send them that transaction ID so they can look it up in a blockchain explorer, or you can just bring up that transaction ID yourself in a blockchain explorer, for example, Block Cipher, and then you can copy the link to to that transaction on the blockchain explorer and send it to them as proof that you sent them the coins, so that they can't tell you that you didn't send them the money. So that's useful, and a person can do the same for you if you're the one receiving bitcoins. So I hope that was helpful, and thanks for watching.